أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم. أما بعد. We start the program by the recitation of Holy Quran by Hafiz Najib Matlub Ahmed, a young Hafiz. Inshallah, he will recite the Holy Quran.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن شجرة الزقوم طعام أثيم كالمهل يغلي في البطون كغلي الحميم خذوه فاعتلوه إلى سواء الجحيم ثم صبوا فوق رأسه من عذاب الحميم ذق إنك أنت العزيز الكريم. إن هذا ما كنتم به تمترون. إن المتقين في مقام أمين في جنات وعيون يلبسون من سندس واستبرق متقابلين كذلك وزوجناهم بحور عين يدعون فيها بكل فاكهة آمنين لا يذوقون فيها الموت إلا الموتة الأولى ووقاهم عذاب الجحيم فضلا من ربك ذلك هو الفوز العظيم. فإنما يسرناه بلسانك لعلهم يتذكرون فارتقب إنهم مرتقبون. صدق الله العظيم.
Thank you, brother Matlub. We know, I think Dr. Zakir Naik does not need any introduction now because most of us already know him. But for the benefit of those who have come to this evening, this lecture, first I give a brief introduction. Dr. Zakir Naik is a medical doctor. He is coming from Bombay. He is a son of a prominent social worker and a medical doctor, Dr. Zakir Naik. He is a Dai in his own way. He is inspired by Sheikh Jeddah, and Alhamdulillah, the work of Dawah, he has taken a great distance and has expanded and is given a new direction to that. Today, his cassettes, his lectures not only give information but inspiration to all of us, and especially to our young children who have seen, after seeing his lectures, they not only learn about Islam, but they are getting reassured and in turn starting to talk about Islam. So I think there is a greatest achievement by the lectures of Dr. Zakir Naik, and most of it, all of us, we need the way he is presenting Islam and the information which is inspiring to all of us. So without taking much of your time, today's topic is Dawah or Destruction. Dawah or Destruction. So I request Dr. Zakir to come and start his talk. Thank you very much.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. كنتم خير أمة أخرجت للناس تأمرون بالمعروف وتنهون عن المنكر وتؤمنون بالله. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل إن كان آباؤكم وأبناؤكم وإخوانكم وأزواجكم وعشيرتكم وأموال اقترفتموها وتجارة تخشون فسادها ومساكن ترضونها أحب إليكم من الله ورسوله وجهاد في سبيله فتربصوا حتى يأتي الله بأمره والله لا يهدي القوم الفاسقين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. I welcome all of you with Islamic greetings. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May peace, blessings and mercy of Almighty Allah be on all of you. It's a pleasure to be back once again in Jeddah amongst the people of Jeddah. The topic of this evening's talk is Dawah or destruction. What is the meaning of the word Dawah? I'm sure most of us may be knowing the meaning of the word Dawah. The moment you hear the word Dawah, immediately you start thinking of a lunch party or a dinner party. Dawah does not mean a lunch party or a dinner party. It means an invitation. Today, we will not be talking about an invitation to a lunch party or a dinner party, but we'll be talking about Dawah al-Islam, the invitation to Islam, to Din al-Haq, the religion of truth. An invitation can only be given to an outsider. Therefore, the moment you speak to a person who is not within the fold of Islam, and you talk about Islam to him, it's called as Dawah al-Islam. So Dawah can only be done to a non-Muslim. I start my talk by quoting a verse of the Holy Quran from Surah Al-Imran, chapter number 3, verse number 110, which says, كنتم خير أمة أخرجت للناس. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that O Muslims, ye are the best of people evolved for mankind. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving us Muslims an honor. He's calling us كنتم خير أمة. Oh, ye are the best of people evolved for mankind. Whenever there is an honor, it is always followed up with a responsibility. For example, in a school, the principal has got more honor than the vice principal. The vice principal has got more honor than the teacher. And the teacher has got more honor than the clerk. But along with the honor, it is always followed up with a responsibility. In the same way, the principal has got more responsibility than the vice principal. The vice principal has got more responsibility than the teacher. And the teacher has got more responsibility than the clerk. So when Allah says in the Holy Quran, كُنْتُمْ خَيْرَ أُمَّةٍ أُخْرِجَتْ لِلنَّاسِ, that oh, ye are the best of people evolved for mankind. When Allah is giving us such an honor, don't you think it is followed up with a responsibility? The responsibility is said in the same verse. It says, تَأْمِرُونَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَتَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ الْمُنْكَرِ, that we enjoy what is good and we forbid what is wrong. وَتُؤْمِنُونَ بِاللَّهِ, and we believe in Allah. Allah calls us كُنْتُمْ خَيْرَ أُمَّةٍ, the best of people, because we enjoy what is good and we forbid what is wrong. If we don't enjoy what is good and we don't forbid what is wrong, then we are not كُنْتُمْ خَيْرَ أُمَّةٍ. We are not fit to be called Muslims. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us the honor because it's a compulsory duty for every Muslim to enjoy what is good and to forbid what is wrong. The moment we see a person doing evil, we should ask him to stop it. And enjoin the people, the moment we see a person doing evil, we should ask him to stop it. And enjoin the people towards the good. But unfortunately, we Muslims, we are not doing our duty. If we do not do dawah, if we do not enjoy what is good and forbid what is wrong, we aren't fit to be called kuntum khayra ummatin. And the Holy Quran mentions in Surah Baqarah, chapter number 2, verse number 143, that we have made you a community justly balanced, the middlemost community, over the world, so that you may be a witness over the nation, and the messenger will be a witness over you. It's the duty of every Muslim, the whole Ummah, to be a witness over the other people, over the other nations, and the beloved Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, will be a witness over us. The other verse of the Holy Quran I quoted in the beginning of my talk was from Surah Dawah, chapter number 9. Surah Dawah happens to be the most militant surah of the Holy Quran. Why do I say that Surah Dawah is the most militant surah of the Holy Quran? Because it's the only surah in the whole Quran which does not start with the beautiful formula Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, in the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful. Otherwise, each and every chapter besides Surah Tawbah, all the other 130 chapters of the Holy Quran start with the beautiful formula Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, in the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful. For example, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Qul a'udhu bi Rabbin Nas. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Qul a'udhu bi Rabbil Falaq. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Qul huwallahu ahad. Every surah starts with a beautiful formula Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, in the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful. But Surah Tawbah does not start with a beautiful formula. Why? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if you read the first few verses, verse 1 to 4, there is a treaty between the Muslims and the pagans of Makkah, a peace treaty. And this peace treaty was unilaterally broken by the mushriks of Makkah, by the pagans of Makkah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them a warning in verse number 4 and verse number 5. He said that if you do not put things back within 4 months, then there will be a declaration of war. If you do not put things back in 4 months, there is a declaration of war. And Allah says in verse number 5, that after the 4 forbidden months are over, wherever you find these mushriks, wherever you find this pagan, slay them in every stratagem of war. But if they ask for forgiveness, you may let them go. But Allah is giving a warning. Whenever any warning is given, but natural, you have to be firm, you have to be militant. For example, if you're walking with your wife on the road, or I'm walking with my wife or my sister on the road, and suppose there is a hooligan who snatches the handbag of your sister or of your wife and runs away. But natural, you will chase the hooligan. And the moment you catch him, you will not say, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, in the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful. You will not say, Assalamu alaikum, may peace be on you. You will say, hey mister, give the handbag, or break your arm. Hey mister, give the handbag, or break your neck. You have to be firm. You have to be militant. In the same way, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He gives a warning to the mushriks of Makkah, Bismillah is uncalled for. Therefore I say that Surah Tawbah is the most militant surah of the Holy Quran. But by the time Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, by the time He reaches verse number 23 and 24, we Muslims, we are in the firing line. We Muslims, we are in the firing line. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is addressing us Muslims in Surah Tawbah chapter number 9 verse number 24 by saying, قُلْ إِنْ كَانَ آبَاؤُكُمْ, say whether it be for your fathers, وَأَبْنَاؤُكُمْ, or your sons, وَإِخْوَانُكُمْ, or your brothers, وَأَزْوَاجُكُمْ, or your spouses, your wives, or your husbands, وَأَشِيرَتُكُمْ, or your relatives. Allah is saying, what are your considerations? Your fathers, your sons, your brothers, your spouses, your relatives, what are your considerations? Otherwise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Holy Quran, in Surah Isra, chapter number 17, verse number 20 and 24, that after worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the next duty is to be kind to your parents. And Allah says that I have ordained to you that you worship none but Allah, and that you be kind to your parents. But at the same time Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also says in Surah Nisa chapter number 4, verse number 134, that Ya ayyuhal ladina amanu, O you who believe, stand out firmly for justice and witness towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even if you have to go against yourself, against your parents, against your kith and kin, or for the rich or poor, for Allah protects both. For justice, you even have to go against yourself or your parents. Otherwise, you have to always respect and love your parents. So Allah says in Surah Dawah chapter number 9 verse number 24, what are your considerations? Your fathers, your sons, your brothers, your wife, your relatives, what are your considerations? And Allah continues, وَأَمْوَالٌ اقْتَرَفْتُمُوهَا وَتِجَارَةٌ تَخْشَوْنَ فَسَادَهَا وَمَسَاكِنُ تَرْضَوْنَهَا. The wealth that you have amassed, the business in which you deal, the dwellings in which you delight, the house in which you live. Allah says, what are your considerations? The business? Some people may say, no, if I do Dawah, then the non-Muslim customers will not come to my business, will not come to my shop. What are your considerations? The wealth that you have amassed, the house in which you live. Allah says in Surah Baqarah chapter number 2 verse number 261 that if you sow one grain in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah will give you 7 years, each year bearing 100 corns, 100 grains. That means if you sow one grain or one corn in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah will give you 700 grains or 700 corns. Imagine, 700 times profit. If you calculate in business terminology, it is 70,000% profit. I want to know which business, in which business will you get 70,000% profit? Allah promises you, and Allah continues and says, I will give you many-fold more. So if you put your wealth in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah promises you no less than 700 times, 70,000% profit. So Allah asks you, what are your considerations? Your father, your sons, your brothers, your wives, your relatives, your wealth, your business, the house in which you live, and Allah continues. أَحَبَّ إِلَيْكُم مِّنَ اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ وَجِهَادٍ فِي سَبِيلِهِ. If you love all these things more than Allah, His Rasul, and doing jihad in the way of Allah, Allah says, فَتَرَبَّصُوا, you wait. Allah is asking us Muslims to wait. And believe me, we are waiting, sitting on our backside doing nothing. What does Allah mean when He says, فَتَرَبَّصُوا? What does Allah mean in the Holy Quran when He says, wait? What does He mean? For example, if suppose a teacher says in the classroom that look out for a word in a book, when the students are reading a book, and when the teacher says, look out for a word, the teacher actually means you should look in the book, not look out of the book. It exactly means the opposite. That's the genius of the language. When the teacher says, look out for the word, she actually means you have to look in the book, not look out of the book. Similarly, suppose there's a senior student in the school who is bullying a junior student. And when the senior student is bullying the junior student says, but you wait till I get my elder brother. And his elder brother happens to be the student. The junior student says, but you wait till I get my elder brother. And his elder brother happens to be the biggest hooligan of that area. When the child is telling the senior student that you wait till I get my elder brother, he is not actually asking him to wait. He's telling him, you scoot off, you buzz off, otherwise you'll be taught a lesson. You don't wait. Similarly, when Allah says in the Holy Quran, فَتَرَبَّصُوا. It does not mean wait. It means you better wake up. فَتَرَبَّصُوا حَتَّى يَأْتِيَ اللَّهِ بِأَمْرِهِ وَاللَّهُ لَا يَهْدِي الْقَوْمَ الْفَاسِقِينَ. Wait until Allah brings about His decision unto you. Until Allah brings about His destruction unto you. وَاللَّهُ لَا يَهْدِي الْقَوْمَ الْفَاسِقِينَ. And Allah guides not the perverted transgressors. So Allah is asking the Muslims that you better improve, that you better wake up, otherwise destruction will come upon you. And Allah guides not the perverted transgressors. Allah tells us in the Holy Quran, in Surah Muhammad, chapter number 47, verse number 38, He says, وَإِن تَتَوَلَّوْا يَسْتَبْدِلْ قَوْمًا غَيْرَكُمْ ثُمَّ لَا يَكُونُ أَمْثَالَكُمْ. That if you turn away from your path, if you do not do your job, يَسْتَبْدِلْ قَوْمًا غَيْرَكُمْ, Allah will substitute in your place another people, ثُمَّ لَا يَكُونُ أَمْثَالَكُمْ, and they will not be like you. So Allah is telling that if you do not do your job, if you turn away from the path, Allah will substitute in your place another people, ثُمَّ لَا يَكُونُ أَمْثَالَكُمْ, and they will not be like you. And history testifies this, that Allah has His way, that whenever He substitutes a people, He always chooses the people who are looked down upon. Those people who are looked down upon, Allah brings them from the dust and makes them to sit on our head. For example, if you see history, the Jews looked down upon the Arabs. They said, these Arabs, they are barbaric people. And when Allah says in the Holy Quran, in Surah Jummah, chapter number 62, verse number 5, that the similitude of the Jews who were asked to deliver the Mosaic law, who were asked to deliver the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they did not do the job, is same as a donkey who is carrying tons of books, but he understands it not. The Jews were asked to deliver the message, but they said, what's the use of delivering the message to these people, the Arabs? And at that time, it was the Yawm al-Jahiliyyah. The Arabs, it was called the days of ignorance. No one even wanted to rule the Arabs. They were so ignorant that they did the Dawah from the Kaaba absolutely naked. They had a beautiful logic. They said that how can we present ourselves better than the way we came in this world? Therefore they did the Dawah from the Kaaba absolutely naked. Even the conquerors, they did not want to rule them. They were not fit to be ruled. The Arabs, they were looked down upon. So Allah, through His Holy Quran, through His revelation, these ignorant people, He makes them the torchbearer. He makes them to sit on the heads of the Jews. Allah has His way. The Jews not do the job, Allah says, يَسْتَبْدِلْ قَوْمًا غَيْرَكُمْ. Allah will substitute in your place another people, ثُمَّ لَا يَكُونُ أَمْثَالَكُمْ, and they will not be like you. But unfortunately, if you see the history, the Arabs, the Muslims, we ruled Spain for about 800 years. But we did not do the job. We did not do Dawah. Later on, the Crusaders came and we were wiped out. There was not even a single man who could openly give the Azan, imagine. And today, the only thing we can see in Spain, besides the bullfighting and the castanets, is the beautiful buildings and the monuments made by our forefathers. But did not do the job, so Allah substitute the people. Allah has His ways. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says in the Holy Quran, He gives us guidance. We Muslims, we say that we love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala more than anyone else in the world. We love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala more than our mother. We love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala more than our father, our sister, our brother, our wife. We say, alhamdulillah, we say. But do we actually mean it? Verbally we say it. We love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala more than anyone in the world. But actually, do we mean it? I want to ask a question. Let's suppose your neighbor, if he abuses your wife, or if he abuses your sister, and if you come to know about it, what will you do? You will surely hammer your neighbor, or you put him in his place. If you yourself are not capable of teaching your neighbor a lesson, what will you do? You will hire somebody else to put him in his place, won't you? Of course. Why? Because we love our mother, we love our sister. If anyone abuses our sister, if the neighbor abuses our sister or mother, you see to it that you will put the neighbor in his place. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He cries in the Holy Quran. He says in Surah Maryam, chapter number 19, verse number 88-92, He says, وَقَالُوا اتَّخَذُوا الرَّحْمَنُ وَلَدًا. And they say, the Christians, they say, Allah most gracious has begotten a son. Allah is crying in the Holy Quran. وَقَالُوا اتَّخَذُوا الرَّحْمَنُ وَلَدًا لَقَدْ جِئْتُمْ شَيْئًا إِدًّا. It is indeed the most monstrous thing to say. To say that Allah has begotten a son, it is the most heinous abuse you can give to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَقَالُوا اتَّخَذُوا الرَّحْمَنُ وَلَدًا لَقَدْ جِئْتُمْ شَيْئًا إِدًّا تَكَادُ السَّمَاوَاتُ يَتَفَطَّرْنَ مِنْهُ. I saw the skies are ready to burst open. وَتَنَشَقُ الْأَرْضُ, and the earth to split asunder. وَتَخِرُّ الْجِبَالُ حَدًّا, and the mountains to fall down to utter ruin. Allah says that if you say Allah has begotten a son, it is as though the skies will burst open. The earth will split asunder, and the mountains will fall down to utter ruin. But to us Muslims, it makes no difference. It makes no difference at all. Our neighbors, our Christian neighbors, our non-Muslim neighbors, our friends, they many times abuse Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They keep on saying that Allah has begotten a son. But to us Muslims, it makes no difference at all. But we say verbally that we love Allah more than our sister, more than our mother. If it was the fact, when someone abuses our sister and our mother, we want to put the neighbor in his place. Why don't we want to do the same when someone abuses Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Why don't you deliver the message to him? Why don't you clarify the misconception that he has? Our Christian neighbors, our Christian friends, they say that Allah has begotten a son. And they quote, as usual, they keep on quoting the Bible. They say, it mentions the Gospel of John, chapter number 3, verse number 16, that God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son, that whosoever shall believe in Him shall not die, but shall have everlasting life. Have we tried to deliver the message to them? Have we tried to correct them? Have we made an effort? Allah says, it's the biggest abuse you can give to him. And Allah says in the Holy Quran in Surah Baqarah chapter number 2, verse number 120, He says, وَلَنْ تَرْضَى عَنْكَ الْيَهُودُ وَلَنْ نَصَارَى حَتَّى تَتَّبِعُوا مِلَّتَهُمْ. Which means that the Jews and the Christians will never be satisfied until you follow their brand of religion. They will never be satisfied. And Allah says in the Holy Quran, Surah Baqarah chapter number 2, verse number 111, وَقَالُوا, they say, the Jews and the Christians, وَقَالُوا لَا يَدْخُلُ الْجَنَّةَ إِلَّا مَنْ كَانَ هُودًا أَوْ نَصَارَى. That you Muslims, you shall never enter Jannah until you become a Jew or a Christian. The Jews and the Christians, they say that you Muslims, with your salah, with the mark on your forehead, with your zakah, with your hajj, with your Ramadan, with your fasting, with all these things, still you shall never enter Jannah until you become a Jew or a Christian. Until you become a Jew or a Christian. Allah gives the answer. Tilka amaniyuhum. It is the wishful thinking. Bakwas e bakwas. Qul, tell them, hatu burhanakum, in kuntum sadiqin. Produce your proof if you are truthful. You tell them that what you are speaking is the truth. Produce your proof. Qul hatu burhanakum. And they have produced their proof, the Bible. in more than 2,000 different languages. They always say that my Bible says this, my Bible says that. My Bible says this, my Bible says that. And they have produced the Bible in more than 2,000 different languages. You name it and it's there. In almost all the languages of the world. What do we have to do? Do we have to follow the Bible, hook, line and sinker? When you ask for a proof, what do? You examine the proof. You have to verify the identity. You have to read the scriptures. When Allah says you ask them for the proof, Allah does not mean that you should swallow the Bible, hook, line and sinker. You have to analyze it. These Christian missionaries, they read our Quran. They read our Holy Quran and they ask us questions. They ask us questions by saying that, do you know it's mentioned in the Holy Quran that Bible is the word of God? And most of us Muslims will say yes. They say, why don't you follow it? They ask this question, that by name, your last and final prophet, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is only mentioned 5 times. By name is only mentioned 5 times in your Holy Quran. But Jesus, peace be upon him, he is mentioned 25 times. So who's greater? They don't give you the answer. They let your mind think. They don't give you the answer. They pose the next question. That your Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, did he have a mother and father? You say yes, he had a mother and a father. Did Jesus, peace be upon him, did he have a father? You say no. We agree that he was born without any male intervention. He had a mother, Mother Mary. May Allah be pleased with her. But we believe that he had no father. So who's greater? They ask you the question, but they do not give you the answer. They let your mind answer. They tell you that your last prophet, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, did he ever give life to the dead? He might have done other miracles, but did he give life to the dead? You say yes, we agree, he did several miracles, but we have not heard of any miracle in which he gave life to the dead. Did Jesus, peace be upon him, did he give life to the dead? You say yes, the Quran mentions that, Bismillah, wake up in the name of Allah. So who's greater? A person who can give life to the dead, or a person who can't give life to the dead? That is the question. They use us as punching bags. They use us as doormats. Allah says in the Holy Quran, in Surah Al-Imran, chapter number 3, verse number 64, he says, قُلْ يَا أَهْلَ الْكِتَابِ, say, O people of the book, تعالوا إلى كلمة سواء بيننا وبينكم, that come to common terms as between us and you. Which is the first term, Allah na'budu illa Allah, that we worship none but Allah. وَلَا نُشْرِكَ بِهِ, that we associate our partners with Him. وَلَا يَتَّخِذَ بَعْضُنَا بَعْضًا أَرْبَابًا مِّن دُونِ اللَّهِ, that we erect not among ourselves lords and pages other than Allah. فَإِن تَوَلَّوْا, if then they turn back. فَقُولُوا اشْهَدُوا, say we bear witness, بِأَنَّا مُسْلِمُونَ, that we are Muslims bowing our will to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This verse of the Holy Quran is a master key for doing dawah. If it works for the Ahl Kitab, for the Jews and Christians, use it. If it works for the Hindus, use it. If it works for the Parsis, use it. It's a master key. It will work for each and every non-Muslim. It says, تعالوا إلى كلمة سواء بيننا وبينكم, that come to common terms as between us and you. The first term is Allah na'budu illa Allah, that we worship none but Allah. وَلَا نُشْرِكَ بِهِ, that we associate the partners with Him. Have we told our non-Muslim friends that we should worship only one Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Have we told? We go for salah. Alhamdulillah. Many of us pray regularly. Many pray 5 times a day. We go to the mosque for salah. We go to the masjid. And there we hear our Imam many times reciting in the Surah class, Qul huwallahu ahad. Say He is Allah one and only. Allahu samad. Allah the absolute eternal. Lam yalid wa lam yulad. He begets not, nor is begotten. Wa lam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad. And there is nothing unto Him like. Our Imam is reciting in the masjid, in the mosque. Say there is Allah one and only. I want to ask the question, does any of other Muslims, do we say that God is more than one? Do we? No. So why is the Imam telling us that there is Allah one and only? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling, Qul, say, Qul huwallahu ahad. Say He is Allah one and only. Allah is asking you to go and tell those people who do not believe in one Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that Allah is one and only. Allah samad, Allah the absolute, the eternal. Lam yalid wa lam yulad. He begets not, nor is begotten. Tell to those people who say that Allah has begotten a son, tell them that Allah begets not, nor is He begotten. وَلَمْ يَقُلْ لَهُ كُفُوًا أَحَدٌ. And there is nothing like unto Him. We read the Salah. Unfortunately, most of us don't understand what the Imam is reading. The moment we go out, we forget everything what we have been programmed in our Salah. Allah tells us to say, but we say, why should we say? Why should we interfere with the faith of the other people? People give excuses. They give excuses for not doing Dawah. For example, some will say, see, I don't have enough knowledge of Islam, so I am not the right person for doing Dawah. See, Dawah is the job of a person who has a lot of knowledge, alim, who has ilm. I don't have enough knowledge. Therefore, when I gain enough knowledge, inshallah, that time I will do Dawah. Our beloved Prophet said, that propagate even if it be one verse. Even if you know one verse about Islam, you have to say it. You have to propagate it. You have to preach it. And I'm sure that every Muslim at least know few points about Islam. They at least know La ilaha illallah. That there is no God but Allah. They at least know that Allah is one. You have to go and tell your non-Muslim friends. They say there is Allah one and only. He may ask you for proof, but how can you prove the existence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Even if you don't know how to prove logically, at least do the job, at least tell him. If you do not know the answer, what will you do? You come home and do the homework. When in an examination, if I give an examination, if you don't know the answer and if you fail, what do you do? In your next paper, you see to it, the question you were unable to answer, at least that answer you know very well. And you do your homework, you study harder. So you go home and find out how to prove the existence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You go and tell him that our beloved Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he was the last and final messenger. You want proof? You have to do your homework. Proof to tell them that the Holy Quran is the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If they ask, how can you prove it? If you know, you give the answer. If you don't know, come home and do your homework. Alhamdulillah. Now since the media and science and technology have advanced, we don't have to search a lot for these answers. Everything is available on your fingertips. Everything. There are video cassettes by several speakers which are available to us even in the market. For example, if you want to know how to prove to a non-Muslim about the existence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, about Quran is the word of God, there are video cassettes available in which I have given a talk, is the Quran God's word? And there are proof logically. If you want to know how to prove to a non-Muslim about the existence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, about Quran is the word of God, there are video cassettes available in which I have given a talk, is the Quran God's word? And there are proof logically that the Holy Quran is the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, irrespective whether he be a Hindu or a Christian or an atheist or a scientist, he will be convinced with the answer. Now you will prove the existence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The moment you go home and do the homework, you become a master in that answer. So now you can answer to your non-Muslim friend about the existence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, about how to prove the Holy Quran is the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You tell him, don't have alcohol. If you want the proof, go home, do your homework. Now you are a master in 3 answers. In this way, you yourself will increase your knowledge. Even if you know one verse, you have to propagate it. There is no excuse for anyone for not doing dawah. It's compulsory. So the Muslims will say, let's see, speaking about Islam to non-Muslims, yes, we should do it, but first we should speak to the Muslims. We should make the Muslims better Muslims. We should first make the Musliman Pakka Musliman, and then we should do dawah. But no, I do agree that we should also do Islam. Islam means improving the Muslims, giving more knowledge about Islam to the Muslims. I do agree we should do Islam also. But if anyone says that first we will make the Musliman Pakka Musliman and then do dawah, that time will never come. It will never come. Our beloved Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he could not convert, he could not change his own family members, he could not change his uncle. Do you think you are better than him? He did his job. He delivered the message. The Quran says in Surah Al-Asha, chapter number 88, verse number 21. It says, فَذَكِّرْ إِنَّمَا أَنْتَ مُذَكِّرْ. Your job is to deliver the message. Changing hearts is in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But your job is to do zikr, is to deliver the message. But some people say, no, first we make the Musliman Pakka Musliman, and then we will speak to the non-Muslim. That time will never come. Our beloved Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, in the farewell pilgrimage, he said that had every one of you, and there were more than 110,000 Sahabas, more than 110,000 Sahabas were present there, he asked them that did you receive the message? And all of them unanimously said, Beshak, we did. We did receive the message. Then our beloved Prophet said that all those who are present here, deliver it to those who are not present here. And believe me, more than 100,000 of the Sahabas were buried outside Arabia. For what? For making Musliman Pakka Musliman? No, for doing dawah. To deliver the message to the non-Muslims. Our beloved Prophet, he sent messages. He asked the scribes to write down messages about Islam to the non-Muslim kings of Persia or Byzantine. Various things. Many of which also tore off that letter, which contained most of the Holy Quran. Do you think our Prophet was wrong? Because there were many people in Medina who were yet not perfect Muslims. Our beloved Prophet said that there were many Muslims who did not come for the compulsory congregational prayer. This mentioned in Bukhari. Many Muslims who did not come for the compulsory congregational prayer, for the Jummah Salah. He said, I feel like burning their houses. That means there were Muslims who were not perfect, but yet our beloved Prophet said, give the message to the non-Muslims. It has to be simultaneous. Dawah and Islam should be simultaneous. You can't say, I will first make all the Musliman Pakka Musliman and then do Dawah. That time will never come. You want to get excuse for not doing Dawah. You say, see, when our own deeds aren't good, our own deeds, they aren't good, so how can we speak to the non-Muslim? They'll point a finger at us. They will tell us, you Muslims, you aren't good. What are you coming and giving us the message? What are you delivering the message to us? You Muslims, you yourself aren't good. So therefore, first we'll make the Muslims good and then speak to non-Muslims. Believe me, that time will never come. I pose the question to such people and I tell them that I want to ask you the question, are you better or those Christian missionaries who come from Europe and America? They come and they drink alcohol. Do you drink alcohol? They say no. They do adultery. Do you do adultery? They say no. Who's better? We are better. With all the defects, these Christian missionaries who are wine dippers, who are alcoholics, who are adulterers, still they are converting hundreds and thousands of people. Why can't you do? They have the falsehood with them, with all the defects, with all the ill habits. Yet they are able to convert thousands of people. What's the problem with you? Do you think you are worse than them? When they can do the job, why can't you? You know why? Because to speak to a Muslim is very easy. If I tell a Muslim that he offers the salah, even if he does not pray, he will not hit me, he will not slap me, he will not abuse me. Why? Because he's a Muslim. It's easy to tell to a Muslim, keep up here. Why? Even if he does not keep, he will not abuse me. Otherwise, go and fast. Why? Even if he does not fast, he will not rebel. But if I tell to a non-Muslim, I'm afraid. I'm afraid that it may backfire. You want to do the easy job. Therefore, it is compulsory for everyone to do both Dawah and Islam. And believe me, there are some people who quote the Quran to say Dawah is not required. And they say, it is mentioned in the Quran, لَكُمْ دِينُكُمْ وَلِيَ دِينِ, that to use your way and to me is mine. Therefore, Quran clearly says that let them follow their way of life. Why should we interfere? These people, they are misquoting the Quran. They are quoting a verse of the Holy Quran out of context. What they are quoting is from Surah Kafirun, chapter 109, verse number 6. But for the context, you have to refer to all the 6 verses. Which says, قُلْ يَا أَيُّهَا الْكَافِرُونَ لَا أَعْبُدُ مَا تَعْبُدُونَ وَلَا أَنْتُمْ عَابِدُونَ مَا أَعْبُدُ وَلَا أَنَا عَابِدٌ مَا عَبَدتُّمْ وَلَا أَنْتُمْ عَابِدُونَ مَا أَعْبُدُ لَكُمْ دِينُكُمْ وَلِيَ دِينِ. Which means that say to those who reject faith, you worship not that which I worship. I will not worship that which you worship. You will not be worshipping that which I want you to worship, nor will I worship that which you worship. To you is your way and to me is mine. First, deliver the message. After he rejects the faith, then tell him that I will not worship that which you worship and you will not worship that I worship. But first, the question of rejecting the faith comes only after you deliver the message. It does not come before delivering the message. After you deliver the message, and then if he rejects the message, then after trying a level best, then you can tell him, to use your way, to me is mine. That is not the first resort, that is the last resort. That is the last resort, not the first. Some people say, the Quran says, that life of the deen, there is no compulsion in religion. So therefore, why should we bother with the non-Muslims? We should not compel them. Again, they are misquoting the Quran. They are going out of context. What they are referring to is the verse from the Holy Quran from Surah Baqarah, chapter number 2, verse number 256. And it does say, La ikraha fid deen, there is no compulsion in religion. But read the complete verse. The complete verse says, truth stands out clear from error. If you reject the evil and if you believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you will grasp the most trustworthy handhold. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take you from darkness into the light. And if you hold the hand of the faithful, He will take you from light to darkness. Complete the full verse. Complete the full context. Don't just say life after deen, there is no compulsion in religion. Also say truth stands out clear from error. Present the truth. After you present the truth of Islam, you don't have to force him. You don't have to convert anyone at the point of the sword, at the point of the can. After you present the truth of Islam, you don't have to force him. You don't have to convert anyone at the point of the sword, at the point of the can. It is forbidden. It is haram to convert anyone at the point of the sword, at the point of the can. But it is compulsory. You have to deliver the message. Deliver the truth. If he does not accept it, then say there is no compulsion in religion. Truth stands out here from here. But before you speak, you only know two words of the Quran. لَكُمْ دِينُكُمْ وَلِيَ دِينِ and لَا إِكْرَاهَ فِي الدِّينِ. Finished. That gives us a blank check that we should not do dawah. Finished. We have done the job. Quran gives us permission that we have to sit and just relax. And people say, that see, religion is a personal faith. It's a personal belief. It is something to do with an individual. You should not interfere in somebody else's private belief. It's a personal thing. Therefore, we should stick to our religion. You can talk about anything else but religion. It will hurt the person's feeling. I do agree, religion is a personal belief. I've got no objection to that. But let me give you an example. Let's suppose you go somewhere on a hill station for an outing with your family. You have your wife and your children along with you. And one of your child is a small child of hardly 3 years old. Your son. And when you go on a hill station for an outing, while you're talking with your wife, your small son of 3 years old, he runs far away, which you are unaware about. By the time you realize that he has gone far away from you, you see that he has reached the end of the cliff. Even if you shout, your voice can't reach him. You can only see him as a minute dot from there. And you see that he is very close to the cliff. He is walking closer and closer to the cliff. Even if you shout, your voice won't reach him. There you see that close to your son is an elderly gentleman, a very good pious gentleman who's standing. And your son is, while walking and running, he comes closer to the cliff, to the end of the cliff. And he's very close to the elderly gentleman. The elderly gentleman sees him, but he minds his own business. And your son, he falls over the cliff. Then you can see this from far away. The moment you approach that old man, won't you blame him? Won't you? You will say that the elderly gentleman, he had knowledge. He had some intelligence. Couldn't he have stopped my small son from falling over the cliff? Only thing he had to do was to stretch his hand. He did not even have to take a step forward. He was so close to that young son of mine. Only thing he had to do was stretch his hand and my son would have been saved. Believe me, that elderly gentleman didn't push your son. He didn't ask your son to jump. But still, won't you blame him? You will say that he was the elderly gentleman. He could have easily stopped my son. Why didn't he do it? My son is a masoom. What does he know? He is ignorant. Won't you blame him? No, he is behaving like us, like a Muslim. He says, it's my personal belief. Why should I interfere with somebody else's son's life? See, what difference does it make to me when he's dying? If he jumps, I'm minding my own business. Let him mind his business. In the same way, when we can see these non-Muslims, we can see that they're going to the ditch, they're going to Jahannam. What are we doing? Nothing. We are behaving like that elderly gentleman. We are minding our own business. We are minding our own business. We aren't making any effort to see to it that the people around us are prevented from entering the hellfire. Suppose your neighbor happens to be a non-Muslim and if you do not deliver the message to him, on the day of judgment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will ask your neighbor that, did you get the message of Islam? He said, no, Allah bari ta'ala, I didn't get the message. So Allah says, Allah will tell him that it was a duty to see to it that you obtain the truth. Because if you didn't obtain the truth, you have to go to hell. Allah will ask you that, did you deliver the message to your non-Muslim neighbor? And if you say no, you will follow him. You will follow him. It's compulsory that you should do dawah. It's a duty of every Muslim. And Allah gives us the criteria for entering Jannah. Allah gives us criteria for entering Jannah in Surah Al-Asr, in chapter 103, verse number 163. It says, وَالْأَصْرِ إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. Which means that by the token of time, man is verily in a state of loss. Allah is taking an oath in the Holy Quran. By the token of time, it is one of the biggest oaths that Allah takes in the Holy Quran. Sometimes Allah takes the oath of the fig tree, of teen or zaytun, of the fig, of the olive, of the stars, of the moon. Allah takes various oaths. But this oath is one of the biggest oaths. He says, well, us, by the token of time, by the fleeting time as it passes away. إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ, that man is verily in loss. Man is in khasara. إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا, except those who have faith. آمَنُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ, those who have righteous deeds. وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ, those who exhort people to the truth. And وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ, those who exhort people to patience and perseverance. Allah says, the whole of humankind is in loss except those people who have faith, who have righteous deeds, who exhort people to truth, who do Dawah and Islam, and those who exhort people to patience and perseverance. These are the minimum 4 criteria required by the Holy Quran for any human being to enter Jannah. If you have faith, you will be fasting, you may give zakat, you may have righteous deeds, etc. But if you don't do dawah, you shall not enter Jannah. Allah says, minimum 4 criteria required. Faith, righteous deeds, dawah and islah, that exhorting people to truth, and exhorting people to patience, perseverance. All 4 are important. If any one of this is missing, Allah says that all 4 criteria are required. If anyone is missing, you shall not enter Jannah. It's compulsory duty of every Muslim to do dawah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Fussilat, chapter number 41, verse number 33, that who is better in speech than a person who invites people to the way of thy Lord? Who is better in speech than the person who invites people towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and who says that I am amongst the Muslims? It is compulsory that every Muslim should be a da'i. But it's not compulsory that he should be a full-time da'i. It's compulsory that he should at least be a part-time da'i. But the Quran also says in Surah Al-Imran, chapter number 3, verse number 104, that let there arise out of you a people, a group of people, enjoining what is good and forbidding what is wrong. That means the Holy Quran says that amongst the Muslims, there should be a group of Muslims who should be full-time da'is. And it's the duty of the rest of the Ummah to support these da'is. Dawah is compulsory for everyone. How we have full-time doctors, full-time engineers, full-time teachers, why don't we have full-time missionaries? Why don't we have full-time da'is? Why? We keep the leftover for Islam. You know, a free time. Those people who are rejects of society, we put them into the field of Islam. Suppose our son fails, then we say we put him to Darul Quran. We want to make him Hafiz al-Quran. He fails in the school, to take him out and put him in a madrasa. See, Islam requires the best of people. Why don't you put your son who has become an engineer into the field of Islam? Why not? Put the cream of the society into the work of Islam. It is the opposite. When you find that he is handicapped, he is unfit, why not? Put the cream of the society into the work of Islam. It is the opposite. When you find that he is handicapped, he is unfit, so you say, okay, then you remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you give the leftover for Islam. People say, when I become old, I will dedicate my life to Islam. How do you know how long you're going to live? How do you know? So Allah says that they should arise out of you a group of people who should be full-time dying. Part-time dying is farz on every Muslim, without which we shall never enter Jannah. But amongst you, there should be a group of people who should be full-time dying. And it's the duty of the other ummah, the other people in the ummah, to support these dying. That's what the Holy Quran says. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He gives a promise in the Holy Quran. Allah says in Surah Dawah, chapter number 9, verse number 33, and in Surah Saf, chapter number 61, verse number 9, He says, هو الذي أرسل رسوله بالهدى والدين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله ولو كره المشركون. Allah says that Allah has sent His messenger with guidance and the religion of truth, so that it will prevail over all the other ways of life. Allah says Allah has sent His messenger with deen al-haq, the religion of truth, ليظهره على الدين كله, so that it will prevail over all the other ways of life, all the other ways, any ism, whether it be communism, Judaism, Christianism, secularism, Hinduism. Islam is destined to supersede all, to master them all, to overcome them all. كله ولو قال المشركون. However much the mushrik don't like it, however much the idol worshippers don't like it, Allah has given a promise. He says this in two places. Surah Saf, chapter number 61, verse number 9, and Surah Dawah, chapter number 9, verse number 33. And a similar message is mentioned the third time in Surah Fatah, chapter number 14, verse number 20. Only the last verse is this. He says, هو الذي أرسل رسوله بالهدى والدين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله وكفى بالله شهيدا. That Allah has sent His messenger with guidance and the religion of truth, so that it will prevail over all the ways of life. And enough is Allah as a witness. Allah is giving the shahada that Islam will prevail over all the other ways of life. Imagine, Allah is testifying in the Holy Quran that Islam will prevail over all the other ways of life. Suppose someone tells you that here there is a business, that in this business you are surely going to succeed. You are going to get minimum 700 times profit. What will you do? You see to it that every penny of your excess wealth will invest in that business. If somebody tells you a secret, that see, if you involve in this business, I am giving you a guarantee that you will get a lot of profit. What will you do? You will invest every penny of your saving in that business. So Allah is giving the witness that this religion of Islam will prevail over all the other ways of life, with or without you. The rubbish that we are. What are we? Nothing. Allah does not require us to spread His message. Allah is giving us an opportunity to do a prophet's job and to earn a prophet's reward. Allah does not require us. With or without you, with or without me, Islam is going to prevail over all the other ways of life. Allah is giving us an opportunity to make hay while the sun is shining. If you know that this business is going to get you profit, you will invest your every penny. We say that we believe in the Quran verbally, but actually we do not believe in it. If we would have faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we would have seen to it that we put every grain, as Allah said, as I mentioned earlier, in Surah Baqarah chapter 2 verse 261, that if you sow one grain, one corn in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah will give you 7 years, each year bearing 100 corn. 700 times profit. Allah is promising you. But we don't have faith. We say we believe in the Quran verbally, but practically we don't. How many people of us, how much time do we give? How much energy do we give for Islam, for the propagation? How much money do we spend in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? How much? Allah is giving us a promise. Allah is giving us an opportunity to make hay while the sun is shining. Do a prophet's job and earn a prophet's reward. I would like to end my talk by giving the quotation from the Holy Quran from Surah Nahl, chapter number 16, verse 125. It says, "Udu ila sabili rabbika bil hikmah wal maw'izati al hasana wa jadilhum billati hiya ahsan." Which means, invite all to the way of thy Lord with wisdom and beautiful preaching, and argue with them and reason with them in the ways that are blessed and Christian. Wa akhir da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.
Thank you, Dr. Zakir, for that enlightening lecture. Now we are entering into more interesting part of the program, the question and answer session. I am sure many of you will be having many questions to pose Dr. Zakir. So, brothers, whoever wants to ask questions, please come over here and take the mic. Okay, brother.
Can I go ahead?
Okay. Yes, Anil.
Assalamu alaikum. First of all, I myself want to become a full Dai. Or from the audience of the presence want to become full Dai. How could they start? And one of us wants to make his son full Dai. What are your programs? And do you have any special teachings or something like that?
Going off the question that he himself wants to become a full-time Dai, alhamdulillah, and I really congratulate him for taking the decision. And he asked that what steps should we take now? And if someone wants to make the child a full-time Dai, what provisions do we have? Firstly, brother, I cannot give a direct answer regarding the situation since I don't have background, where I was staying, etc. If you were in Bombay, I would have asked you to join the IRA. Then I said, Alan was Alan. If you were in Bombay, since you are not there in Bombay, I don't know where you stay and what your background, etc. But if you are in Bombay, we would have asked you to join the IRA because we have several alhamdulillah full-time Dais in IRA. What we can do, brother, I believe there are various Dawah centers out here. Like for example, Jeddah Dawah Center, etc. You can see what the feasibility is there. Or if you wish that you would like to come back to the country from where you come, I believe you are from India. So you're most welcome in your city, or if you'd like to come to Bombay, you're most welcome. Regarding the plans that we have provision for children, for those people who would like to make the children Dais, same but naturally I would like to make my son a Dai, that we have certain training programs in Bombay, where we train the people how to do Dawah. Even though they don't want to be a full-time Dai, even we train how to be a part-time Dai. It's not that only those people want to be full-time Dai should come to organization. We have people who are doctors, who are practicing medicine, who are practicing engineering, but still give lectures and do Dawah. What we have in our organization, that we regularly have programs twice a week. On Saturday, Sunday and Monday, every week we have 3 programs. And the main attraction one is the one we have on Sunday, where we give lectures are given by myself and by the speakers, and which is always followed by question and answer session. And the question and answer session is, if I'm there in Bombay, it's always handled by me, alhamdulillah. Here are the people who have queries, they ask questions and it gets verified. And every Sunday we have a different topic. Even on Saturday and Mondays. Monday is exclusively for ladies. The Saturday and Sunday program is for both ladies and gents. Your people, when other people ask questions and when you give the answer, they themselves get trained how to reply to these sort of questions. This is just on-the-way training. But besides this, we also have programs where we train people how to Dawah. And inshallah in the near future, when we'll be having a vacation, we'll be having full training program which will be for approximately 1.5 months. Otherwise we may have part-time, like maybe 3 hours twice a week, where we train the people how to speak professionally, how to memorize, how to speak, how to modulate your voice, up, down it goes, how much distance should be from the mic, because you should realize that even Dawah, if you want to get a full-time Dai, how you have full-time colleges teaching engineering, teaching medicine, teaching law, we should also have places where they teach professionally how to be Dai, not just, on the way. So here, alhamdulillah, we train the people since we are experienced, not that we are great masters. We are experienced, we tell them from experience which way will be better. So then we teach how should you start a talk, what should be the starting of the talk, what should be the matter, what should be the end, how it should be, how to attract the people, how when somebody asks the question, how should you reply, what should be the first point, should be the reason, logic and science, how to quote the scripture, how to quote the Quran, how to quote the Veda, how to quote the Bible. Here we train the people. And alhamdulillah now, we have at least 6 or 7 people who are alhamdulillah, who can give very good lecture. Though I am in Jeddah and Saudi Arabia, yet the programs in Ireland are continuing. We have other people also. And alhamdulillah, we have hundreds of people who are part-time in Bombay. Alhamdulillah, hundreds of people. So I believe, now inshallah, we will be inaugurating a new place in our office in Bombay, where at present we have a gents wing and a ladies wing. Now, very short, maybe within a month's time, we will be starting a children's wing. Children's wing, where we are going to train our youngsters, our children, from the scratch. Not that when they grow elderly, at the age of 15 or 16, we start training them, from the beginning. Where if you hear my other lectures, you might have realized that how do we teach a child from childhood to come closer towards Islam? We have Islamic games. Instead of having Monopoly, we have different games like Step to Paradise, which I have explained, I think, in the last event from Jeddah, out here. That in the Monopoly, normally, which you may be knowing about Monopoly and trade game, where they teach how to earn money. It's in pounds or dollars, or if it's a trade game in India, it's in rupees. You buy land and you sell land and you make a good businessman. Here in the Steps to Paradise, instead of dollars and pounds and rupees, you have sawab. 1,000 sawab, 2,000 sawab, 5,000 sawab. Instead of start, say Bismillah. And the aim of the person is to enter paradise, to enter Jannah. And how when you come to a chance or community chest, if you know Monopoly, you have to pick up a card. Here when you pick up the card in the Steps to Paradise, it says that if you offer salah 5 times a day, you get a reward of 5,000 sawab. Next card you pick up, if you dance, you have to pay a fine of 1,000 sawab. So the child, any child, every child loves to win the game. If he wants to win the game, he starts offering salah 5 times a day. If you go to a dance party, he stops doing dance party. So there are several such games we have in a foundation. For example, jigsaw puzzle of the Haram, of the Haramain Sharif. We have other cards, Islamic cards. We have snakes and ladders, Islamic version, which I described as a cassette. So we want to train the child from the beginning. And we don't agree with the philosophy that a person should be dedicated completely either to secular education or completely only Darul. I do agree that there are called, alhamdulillah, good Darul, but we prefer a child doing both simultaneously. But if he wants to learn about Islam, simultaneously, along with secular education, which is equally important, he should also get religious education, which we have training programs with us. So if you have an opportunity to come to Bombay, you're most welcome to visit our foundation. So that's the question there. Most welcome.
Assalamu alaikum. This is Rajesh.
Walaikum assalam.
I would like to thank you very much since you have enlightened us very much. I have got 3 questions. But the first question is...
If you can ask one question at a time, brother.
Okay.
If you have one question, give the other people a chance, then if all the other people finish, then you can ask them. Please, brother.
Okay. Since you quoted many...
If you can tell your name and...
Yeah, I am Mohammed Farooq. I am a service engineer here. If Christians ask us that Jesus is more superior than our prophet, what would our answer to them? So that we can communicate to them and do something. If not, if we have no answer to them, it will be...
So that's the question. He's referring to some of the sample questions which I posed during my talk. That how the Christian missionaries, they use as Muslims as the doormats, as punching bags. And he's asking that how can we reply to this question? We don't know the answer of all the questions, only one or two. Which is important? All of you, which one is the most important? Because I give several examples. Which answer do you want? In my talk, brother, I give 2 examples. One is the Bible is the Word of God. One is Jesus Christ, peace be upon him. He does not have a father. Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam had both. Jesus Christ gave life to the dead. Which one do you want? No father. Brother wants to know the reply. that I mentioned my talk, the Christian missionaries say that the beloved Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he had a father and a mother. Jesus, peace be upon him, he had only a mother. He had no father. Indirectly saying, who's the father? God Almighty. Who's greater? Jesus, peace be upon him. How to reply to such people? See, the answer to this question are given in the Holy Quran. You don't have to search somewhere else. Most of the answers are given in the Holy Quran. The answer to this question, brother, is given in Surah Al-Imran, chapter 3, verse number 59. It says, إِنَّ مَثَلَ عِيسَى عِنْدَ اللَّهِ كَمَثَلِ آدَمَ خَلَقَ مِنْ تُرَابٍ ثُمَّ قَالَ كُنْ فَيَكُونُ. Which means the similitude of Jesus in front of Adam is same as the similitude of Jesus in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the same as Adam. He was created from dust and said, be as it was. If you say that Jesus Christ, peace be upon him, is God Almighty, is greater, because he has no father, then Adam, peace be upon him, will happen to be a bigger God, because he has no father and no mother. And that's mentioned even in that scripture, the Bible. So they say, no. So if they say that Jesus Christ, peace be upon him, is a bigger God, because he has no father to tell him, then what about Adam, peace be upon him? He has no father and no mother. He has to be a bigger God. They say no. And besides that, there is one more Superman in the Bible. If you read in the book of Hebrews, chapter number 7, it says that King Melchizedek, the king of Salem, he had no father, he had no mother. He has no ascent, he has no descent. No beginning, no end. He is even bigger than Adam, peace be upon him, in the Bible. So if you agree that a person who has no father is God Almighty, then King Salem, king of Salem, Melchizedek, he will be a bigger God. There is a no. We have to ask for the Burhan. Qul hatu burhanakum in kuntum sadiqin. They will be approved if that's true. Like that they keep on asking questions. For example, now Jesus, peace be upon him, is mentioned in the Holy Quran 25 times by name. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, only 5 times. 4 as Muhammad, 1 as Ahmad. May peace be upon him. So who's greater? How do you reply? The answer is that the Holy Quran, it was revealed to Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. If you are making any reference to any person who's present, I can refer him to he or she. For example, if I'm talking about somebody present, I have to say he or you or he. But if I have to refer to someone who's not present here, it becomes important that I have to take his name. So when the Quran was being revealed, Prophet Jesus, peace be upon him, was not present. So whenever any example of Jesus, peace be upon him, had to be given, his name had to be taken. But since the Prophet was present, whenever any reference was made to the Prophet, directly he, how, O Nabi, O Prophet, and these references are 100 in the Holy Quran. Since the Prophet was present when the Quran was revealed, his name had not to be taken always. And if you say only because the name is taken more times, in the Quran, Musa alayhi salam, Moses, peace be upon him, he is mentioned by name 132 times. Do you mean to say greater than Jesus also? Peace be upon him? No, because Musa alayhi salam was not present and there were several examples of Bani Israel given about Musa alayhi salam, his name had to be taken. So you have to use the hikmah. Similarly, they say that the beloved Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he did not give life to the dead. We agree. He did several miracles, but he did not give life to the dead. Jesus, peace be upon him, he gave life to the dead. So who's greater? I do agree the Quran says that Jesus, peace be upon him, gave life to the dead. He said, Bismillah, wake up in the name of Allah, and go. But whatever miracles, irrespective Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, did, or Jesus, peace be upon him, did, all did with the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not without. So all the miracles which Jesus, peace be upon him, did, it mentions the Quran, as well in the Bible, testified the supremacy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not of Jesus, peace be upon him. So if you read in the Bible itself says, in the Gospel of John, chapter number 14, the supremacy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not of Jesus, peace be upon him. So if you read in the Bible itself says, in the Gospel of John, chapter number 14, verse number 28, that my Father is greater than I. John chapter number 10, verse number 29, my Father is greater than all. John chapter number 5 verse number 30. I can of my own self do nothing. I cast out devils with a spirit of God. Whatever he does is by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whatever miracles I do is testifying that I am a messenger of God Almighty. So whatever he did was by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Even when he raises up Lazarus from death, if you read the Bible, he weeps. Oh my God, thou hearest me always. Thou will hear me even now. He's crying to God Almighty to bring that person back to life. He does not do it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does it. So all the miracles done by all the prophets were testifying the supremacy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It does not prove one prophet is greater than the other. Hold on to it.
Walaikum Assalam. I'm Shamshad Ahmad. You've already answered some of my questions. One question I would like to ask is, you said the Christian missionaries are successful in converting a lot of non-Christians to Christianity, whereas we are not successful. Well, the Christians missionaries, they deal with people below the poverty line. What is the answer to that from our side?
Well, that's the question. The Christian missionaries, they are converting non-Christian to Christianity because they deal the people below poverty line. Mostly. Why aren't you doing that? Who's stopping you from doing that? Don't we have the petrodollars? Aren't we Muslims rich? We have all the petrodollars. We have the black gold with us. Why aren't you doing that? See, we should not convert anyone with the money. But if they can do it, why can't you do it? Then you say that they are using money power to convert the poor people. Have you made an effort? Have you made an effort to use your money to give to the non-Muslims? Don't force them to convert. What they do, you don't have to imitate them. Don't force them to convert. Have you used your money to do dawah to the poor people? Have you used? No. Why? I do agree they use deceit. They use wrong method to convert. With their falsehood, with using wrong method when they are successful, why aren't you successful, brother, with the truth? Don't we have the haqq with us? Do we have, do you know? Do we have the haqq or no, brother? We have. So with the haqq, why can't you convert? Who's to blame? We are to blame. Not our religion. We are to blame because we are not doing jihad. We aren't striving the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You only give excuses why is that man successful. Who's stopping you? Who's stopping us? They with their falsehood, when they can convince the other people, and the misconception that they're only doing it to poor people. They are even converting rich people. I do agree most of them are poor people. You know these Christian missionaries? They come from foreign countries and they live in the villages of India. They spend 10 years, 20 years in the villages of India. Doing what? They call it social service. You know, they leave their advanced country and they come in villages and do social service for what? How many Muslims do you know doing that? How many? Hardly. There are a few, alhamdulillah. Hardly anybody. Why? What is stopping us? When they can do with their falsehood and wrong techniques, why can't we use the right techniques and win over them truthfully? Unfortunately, brother. We have to start immediately. Otherwise, you are not fit to be called kuntum khayra ummatin. For them question.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm Khalil Rahman. So this is a little bit politics. BJP is getting stronger day by day.
So if you can ask questions on dawah or destruction, it will be preferred. If you want to ask a question on politics, go and ask a politician.
No,
I'm not a politician.
No, we as Muslims, what should we do to stop this? Kindly advise with Quranic reference, if any.
So they ask the question, what to do about BJP? Why they don't stop them? Why to stop them? They're saying that BJP is anti-Muslim, therefore I have to stop them. Whether this BJP association are called me to give lectures in Bombay, alhamdulillah. So if you stop them, then I will stop giving lectures in Bombay. Anyway, that's a part of it. See brother, you have to dawah. You have to stop them, you have to get them towards the truth. The problem are to stop them. Get them towards truth. People always say that if he's wrong, you try and eliminate him. Get him towards the truth, you will get more sawab. If you get him towards you, they will use their intelligence for the cause of Islam. See, some people, if you know, like our beloved Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he prayed out of the two Umar, may Allah be pleased with him, one of them, that let one of them accept Islam. And Hazrat Umar, may Allah be pleased with him, he accepted Islam. He was one of the staunchest enemy of Islam. So why do you want to attack them? Try and win them over. That's important. So what you have to do, you have to use the hikmah. If you retaliate, as you know, they are more powerful than us. Use your hikmah to win them over. Don't retaliate. Use your hikmah. What you have to do, as the Quran says, ta'awaw ila kalmatin sawa'in baynana wa baynakum. Come to common terms as between us and you. Which is the first term, Allah na'budu illa Allah. That we worship none but Allah. The BJP, they want to get Hinduism in India. So tell them, if you want to get Hinduism, you read your scriptures. The Hindu scripture says that Natasya Pratima Asti, of that God no images can be made. Tell them, Yajurveda chapter number 3 verse 32. Quote them from the scripture. Quote them from the Gita. You ask for the Burhan is the Gita, the Vedas. Read the Vedas and see what common points are there between Islam and Hinduism. Don't go to the negative points. That comes afterwards. First come to the common points. Come to common terms as between us and you. And if you read the scripture, there are cassettes available, which I've given talks on, the concept of God in Christianity, Hinduism and Islam. And you can prove from their Vedas about the concept of Tawheed, about the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You win them over. Tell them that if you want to be a good Hindu, you have to read your scripture and point out those points which are common between Hinduism and Islam. This way you will be more successful. If you retaliate, you will not be successful. It will be difficult. Not that you will not be successful. When the time comes, that time you have to do. You don't have to sit quiet. But at present I feel it is the time of doing Dawah. In India, it's the time of doing Dawah. There are certain pillars that we have to follow. If you know that the first is the basement, that following the 5 pillars of Islam. Then comes the first floor, that make yourself good Muslims, make yourself a perfect Muslim, etc. The second is Dawah. And third comes the Aqamat-e-Deen. You have in mind a particular way of Islam. So now I feel the time in India and Bombay is Dawah. If you do it in the right way, you will be successful. If you start doing like the politicians, Ram mein Khuda hai, Allah Khuda hai, you are going away from the Sirat al-Mustaqim. Some people say Ram alayhi salam. Where did it mention Ram alayhi salam? So you have to use a hikmah, brother, and do dawah, and you will be successful. Irrespective whether you are successful or not, brother. Quran says, فَذَكِّرْ إِنَّمَا أَنْتَ مُذَكِّرْ. Your job is to deliver the message. You have to do zikr. Whether they accept or not, you will get a reward. Our main focus in this life, brother, upon Surah Mulk, chapter number 67, verse number 2 is that this life and death that Allah has given you is a test for the hereafter. You are living this life as a test for the hereafter. You have to utilize it to the best. The results live in the hand of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Hope that's the question. And many a times I thank these people. See, these people, they help us many a time to get the Muslims together. The riots that took place in Bombay and India helped the Muslims to come together. Previously we were divided. Ye Deobandi hai nahi, Barevli hai nahi, Bori na, he is Shafi na, he is Hanafi. They are divided. When the riots came, alhamdulillah, we Muslims are united. But unfortunately, when the riots have passed away, again the same fight has started. So sometimes I say that these people at least help us to follow the commandment of the Holy Quran. وَاتَصِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا. That hold to the rope of Allah and be not divided. We have to take the help of these people to come together. Hope that's the question.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Ali Sadi. I'm working in Musical Leverage, Malaysia. On the month of Shaban, when you came here, I read a statement made by you regarding the repeated questions that the non-Muslims always raise against Islam, and they are not more than 17 or 15, you said. I read a statement made by you regarding the repeated questions that the non-Muslims always raise against Islam, and they are not more than 17 or 15, you said. So my question is there any booklet written by you or cassette that we can check, so that if we heard, we tell them, or I have to get from here and there different cassettes. Thank you.
Well, I have a question that I had mentioned earlier when I had come in the last clip, that there are hardly 15 to 20 questions handed over with him, which are the common questions the non-Muslim ask. And that's the stepping, how a person wants to become a part-time Dai or full-time Dai. There are 15 to 20 questions which the non-Muslim pose against Islam. And if you master these 15 to 20 questions, then you will be able to convince more than 90% of non-Muslims. More than 90% of non-Muslims have only these questions. So we have a philosophy that instead of talking 1,000 good points about Islam, what we do, first we remove these misconceptions that they have, which are hardly maximum. Some have 5, some have 10, but they all revolve around these 15 to 20 common questions. If you can master these, once the misconception is removed, then if you speak even 10 good points about Islam, they will accept it. Otherwise, even if you speak 1,000 good points, they will say, "Ye Musliman, he married more than one wife. He Musliman, he intrigued the woman." So remove this misconception first, then even if you speak 10 good points about Islam, they will accept it. We have a question. Is there any book available? But as I mentioned earlier, that it's available in writing, but it has not come in book form yet. There are at least about 6-7 of my books under print, but due to the lecture tours and being busy in Bombay, this project has been delayed a lot, which should have been there for a couple of years ago. Inshallah, do pray that this year, at least within a couple of months, before 5 months, it should be released, inshallah. But regarding the second part, are there any video cassettes available? Yes, brother. There are video cassettes available. There are approximately 25 different titles available in Jeddah. There are more than 75 available in Bombay. Out here there are more than 25 video cassettes available, which if you want any question on women, you can take Women's Rights in Islam, part 1 and part 2. If you want any question on Quran, you can take it the Quran God's Word. If you want any question on science, you can take Quran and Modern Science Conflict Reconciliation. There are various cassettes. If you can manage to take about 10 cassettes, most of these questions will be covered with. So that's the question.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm Jamil. There's one thing we started very good today, that we are honored in the first one, alhamdulillah. And then the club equally is our responsibility, so-called. So what do you feel our responsibility is? First to represent ourselves in terms of deeds, or use, as one of our brother questioned, that below the economic, to use dollars or whatsoever. So our deeds are most important for Dawah work, or just memorizing some questions and inviting and impressing them. So fundamentally, what is our responsibility in terms of honored by Allah, that we should be ourselves a workable answers to them, or only memorizing questions and answers to be answered them. Thank you.
You have a question, which is more important? To improve our deeds is more important, or just learning the answers of few questions and doing Dawah, that's important. Whether if you heard my talk, I gave 4 criteria that important for entering Jannah. Faith, righteous deed, exhorting people to truth, that is in Dawah and Islah, and exhorting people to patient perseverance. According to Surah Al-Asr, chapter number 103, verse number 1 to 3. All 4 are equally important. Salah is important. But if I tell the person in a medical college, let's see, start doing Salah from now, most of them will not agree. A few may, inshallah, agree. If I tell them, see, this is the reason why Islam is more superior to other ways of life, and you tell to the other people, whenever anyone knows the answer to a particular question, he would love anyone asking that question. Suppose in a classroom, if you know the answer to the question which the teacher is going to ask you, you would but naturally like the teacher asking you the question, so that you can show to the world, hey, you can show to the classroom, I know the answer. But the moment the person knows the answer to 15 to 20 questions, he starts doing Dawah to the non-Muslims. He starts going and knocking at the doors. Moment he knocks at the door, he realizes, you see, Islam is much better. When he tries and convinces the non-Muslims, he himself realizes, immediately his deeds start improving. Both are important. Deeds is equally important, even Dawah is equally important. But you can't say, I will do only Dawah and will not improve my deeds. It is a simultaneous process. The moment you start doing Dawah, inshallah, automatically your deeds start improving. If you say, first I improve my deeds very well, then start doing Dawah, that time may never come. But one thing you should realize while doing Dawah, brother, that you should not preach that thing which you yourself not follow. For example, suppose I'm alcoholic, which I'm not, alhamdulillah. Suppose I'm alcoholic. I cannot tell to the other person, don't have alcohol. But yet I can tell him, believe in one God, the Quran is the word of God, don't have coke. Other things I can say. But why I'm telling this, I am reminded that Quran says in Surah Ma'idah chapter 5 verse number 90, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, innama al-khamru wal maitru, wal anzabu wal aslamu, wishtum min amali shaitan, fastanibu lalakum tuflihun. That oh, you believe, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, innama al-khamru wal maitru, more certainly intoxicants and gambling, wal anzabu wal aslamu, dedication of stones, divination of arrows, wishtum min amali shaitan. These are Satan's handiwork. Abstain from this handiwork that I may prosper. So by the time I'm doing Dawah, I also know that the Quran is saying that intoxicants is haram. So I'm trying to improve. That tomorrow somebody will question me that I'm doing Dawah, why are you having alcohol? So immediately I see to it that I will stop having alcohol. By the time I can preach the other things, the moment I stop having alcohol, I can preach that also. And I'm sure there are Muslims who at least do few good deeds. At least they believe in one Allah. Start with that. Even if you don't pray, we have seen the results in Bombay. Alhamdulillah. Those people who used to never pray, they offer 5 times salah. They have a good beard. Bring them to put the beard. They themselves realize, Alhamdulillah. They fast, they go for Hajj, Alhamdulillah. It comes. But the moment you realize because we ourselves, though we say we are Muslims, they educate so-called apologetic Muslims, they say verbally they are Muslims, but they don't agree that Quran is the best way of life. The moment they start doing Dawah and when they give the answer to the non-Muslim, they themselves get the answer that Islam is the perfect way of life. And the moment they get the answer, they realize that whatever the Quran says is right, and they start following it. And the more Dawah you do, the more Islamic you become. Alhamdulillah. Hope that answers it.
I appreciate your consent, but my practical experience is that as you are giving example of schools and teaching, and you are emphasizing that we always opt for good speaking guys, and particularly younger kids. That is a better way to adopt and train them for Dawah work. That's absolutely, I do agree with it. But the same thing, the grasping power of youngers are more, and the fundamental is a good foundation for others. But equally, seeing is believing. The general recognized fact is we respect Islam. And that's what I want to quote, what non-Muslims normally used to say in my English medium school, that we respect Islam but we hate Muslims. Well, in this thing, equally they say, and agree, that good etiquettes binds each other, and good faces only attracts. So having this understood and coming back to our fundamental of our responsibility towards Allah, the Creator. So our basic responsibility is that we represent ourselves more and more, concentrate on that. And then they get our answers in our deeds itself. And nothing is it.
The deeds and etiquette they attract. And they say that when the Muslims they are good, etc. So I do agree with him. And I tell him my answer that deeds are equally important. But if you say that an improvement deed and then start doing Dawah, that time may never come. And I do agree, we are doing Dawah, brother. What you have to emphasize, that don't look at the Muslims to know about Islam. Look at the Quran. If you have to look at any example of a Muslim, the best example is our beloved Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Don't look at me or him or you for knowing what Islam is. For knowing what Islam is, you have to read the Holy Quran. There are black sheep in every community. Don't you think that black sheep are Christian? They say Islam was spread with a sword. Who was Hitler? A Christian. Who was Mussolini? A Christian. See, the majority of rape takes place where? In America. Who are the majority rapists? Christians. That does not mean that just because a group of people are bad, that means the religion is bad. You have to give the example, brother, that suppose if I have to analyze a car, suppose there is a good Mercedes car, and if I have to know a group of people are bad, that means the religion is bad. You have to give the example, brother, that suppose if I have to analyze a car, suppose there is a good Mercedes car, and if I have to know how good the car is, And suppose there is a person who sits on the steering wheel who does not know how to drive the car, and he bangs up the car. So will you say the car is not a good car, brother? Will you say? No. You will say the driver is bad, not the car. The driver does not know how to drive the car. You will not blame the car. To know how good a car is, you will look at the catalog. What is the speed? What is the average? What facilities it has? What is the pickup, etc. And then check it with the person who can properly drive the car. So if you have to look at an example of any Muslim, the best example is our beloved Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. So you have to preach about Islam, not what Muslims do. That's important. So when you compare different faiths, compare Christianity with Islam, not Christian with Muslim. Compare Hinduism with Islam, not Hindus with Muslim. That's a very important point, brother. Not theoretically. Practically, if you want to compare the best Hindu with the best Muslim. Compare the best Christian with the best Muslim. No problem. Ahlan wa sahlan. Don't compare with the best Christian with the worst Muslim. Because there are black sheep in every community. Islam says that you should not have alcohol. Alhamdulillah, we Muslims are the biggest community of teetotalers in the world. We give the maximum charity. But there are some of our brothers who can bring the Christian under the table. You know that? They can. So if you have to give an example, take as a whole. In hygiene, we are the best as a whole. Don't point out the few Muslims only. As a whole, we are the best. In charity, we are number one. We are number one as a whole. As a whole. Alhamdulillah. As a whole society, the Muslim Ummah, we are the kuntum khaira ummatin. We are the torch bearers. But the thing is that our law, our Sharia, does not go down their throat. It gets stuck somewhere. So we have to put the medicine to put sense into them, brother. If you reason with them, for example, the question, why polygamy is allowed? If you hear the answer, they are dumbfounded. Why hijab is compulsory? You tell the answer, they are dumbfounded. They have no reply. With all their science and technology, brother, they cannot argue with you. Why smoke is haram? They can't argue with you. Why alcohol is haram? They can't argue with you. With all the technology, with all the sobriety, with all the piety, they are dumbfounded. If we have the knowledge. So Islam is a complete way of life. Irrespective whatever we Muslims are, still alhamdulillah, we as a whole, we are the best community, alhamdulillah. Hope that answers the question.
I think we are approaching 12 o'clock. Now we'll allow only two questions. One brother and then one written question from here. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Mirza Ihtisham Ahmed. I have one question. There are some muftis who say this Dawah work is not totally compulsory. It's not 100% compulsory. It is just a Fard Kifaya like. Fard Kifaya, you know, any dead body is there, we have to pray Salah. If whole locality will be punished if no one prays. Even if a man prays, single man, it will be accepted from him. And what the muftis give reasoning for telling that this is a Fard Kifaya is they say, there is famous hadith which says there are 5 things obligatory in Islam. Number 1 is Tawheed, number 2 Salah, Zakat, Hajj and Saum. Similarly, what they say second in that is Islam is a religion of reasoning, it's a religion of ease, it's a religion of convenience, it's a religion of fitrah. So it's not totally compulsory on everyone. Even if some people do it, it's enough. And what they say is, that's why Quran says, the ayat which you have said, means only there should be a group of people who should do the dawah work. And there are some other reasons also they give. So this is not very compulsory. It's not 100% compulsory. It's only Fard Kifaya. That's what some muftis give. Please answer.
Brother asked the question that some of the people from the mufti say that Dawah is Fard Kifaya. Fard Kifaya means somebody else does, then it's not obligatory on other people. I'll give an example. That the Janazah ki namaz, when someone expires, the salah that you pray after the person dies, if few people do it, it's not a fard on you. If someone gives a khanda, 4 people give the shoulder to guide the dead body, it's everyone else is relieved of that duty. Even for sake of argument, brother. even for sake of argument, you agree, not that I agree with them, for sake of argument I agree with the Mufti that doing Dawah is Farz Kifaya. Are you sure that your neighbor will deliver the message, brother? Are you sure? What should you do? Have you gone to the non-Muslim and asked him, whether did you get the message?
No, we see the people.
So you see the people, so you are sure that all the 1 billion people living in India have got the message. Are you sure?
No, it's only the locality. Islam says only the locality.
Locality. We are living in Bombay. There are 14 million people. In Bombay, 14 million people, wherever you are living. Are you sure? I want to know which Muslim is sure living in Bombay or which Muslim in India is sure that all the non-Muslims have got the message. Which Muslim? Can you get me one? So I'm not sure. If you say the Farz Kifaya, then it's your duty that when anyone dies, you know 4 people have gone. You know it very well. Minimum 4 people have gone. So all the more you should be knocking at the door and ask him, whether have you got the message or not? Even if I agree with the Mufti. See, the way of hikmah, Dawah, whatever the person says, if you can win the discussion by agreeing with his philosophy, that's the best. If the Christian says the Bible is the word of God, you agree for sake of argument and prove from the Bible that Jesus Christ, peace be upon him, was not God Almighty. That's hikmah. So if I agree with you also, it becomes your duty. First, it's a fire. First on you, that you go and knock at the door and ask them, whether did you get the message? And if on the day of judgment, if that person says, I did not get the message, no Muslim came, and there are hundreds of Muslims everywhere in the world who do not know what the word Islam means, leave aside what does it teach. If the non-Muslim goes to hell, whether you will follow. Regarding the question of curse, if I agree with the Mufti, if you heard my talk, how can I, and I quote the verse of the Quran which I quoted, Surah Al-Imran chapter 3 verse 104, let there arise out of you a group of people which enjoin what is good and forbid what is wrong. I agree, group of people. This is referring to full-time dying. Are they following only one verse of the Quran? That is 104. What about verse number 110? كنتم خير أمة أخرجت للناس تأمرون بالمعروف وتنهون عن المنكر وتؤمنون بالله. Oh, we are the best of people. Is it referring to a group? No. It's referring to the whole Muslim community. كنتم خير أمة. Oh, we are the best of people evolved for mankind. تأمرون بالمعروف وتنهون عن المنكر. Enjoining what is good and forbidding what is wrong and believing in Allah. Is this verse referring to a group of people, brother? No. That verse which you quoted, I agree. It's talking about full-time dying. What about Surah Al-Asr? Is it referring to a group of people? It says, وَالْأَفْ إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ فِي خُسْرٍ. That by the token of time, man is very in a state of loss. It is not saying that only a group of people with Dawah is finished.
The same thing, the wal asr innal insana, that's what the muftis and others say. The people do mistake with telling not truth.
Okay, that means some people should do amal, some people should do faith, some people dawah, some people invite to truth. So you pray 5 times, I will not pray, I will do dawah. Because
some people go to the extremes. They do the exaggeration in Islam. They do
that. I agree with Quran.
That's what it says.
Quran says in Surah Nisa chapter 4 verse number 171, La taqulu fi dinukum. Do not go to extreme.
Yes.
Did I say should go to extreme?
No, that's what the meaning of the wal asri innal insana. The same mufti is what they say, who are not in favor of
same mufti. See, we have to follow the Quran, not the mufti. If you don't understand, you have to go for help. But
yes.
Do you understand? Is there any difficulty in any verse of this Quran? See, if you don't understand, Quran says in Surah Furqan chapter 25 verse 59 that if you have a doubt of a particular thing, ask the person who has knowledge. Fine? Do you have any doubt about Galas?
Yes.
It's simple Arabic. People who get you understand better than me. It's simple. There are so many tafsir written on that.
That's what they say. One of the reasons they say is...
Okay, have you read the tafsir of Galas?
Yes.
Most of the tafsir say, I don't know which mufti are talking about.
No, it's Adil Salahi who has given the references of all some of the muftis who disagree that it's not totally compulsory, because he has given very good reasoning. The reasoning is so the very famous hadith which is Muttafaq alayh, which says there are 5 things only obligatory.
What he's talking is about
given very good reasoning. The reasoning is, so the very famous hadith which is Muttafaq alayh, which says there are 5 things only obligatory.
What he's talking is about Sahih Bukhari, volume number 1. He says that out of there are 5 pillars of Islam.
5 pillars.
Whose object? Did I have an object to that, brother? Do you mean to say anything?
It would have been introduced there as the 6th one.
Okay.
Like jihad.
Very good.
Would have been introduced
Okay,
there.
the brother is saying that if you do these 5 things, you go to Jannah, correct?
No, it is what is compulsory when
I'm asking you a question. I'm asking you a question. If you do these 5 things, you go to Jannah, correct? If you have Tawheed,
the question was not asked like that. Prophet ﷺ said, what are the 5 things somebody questioned him? Then he said, these are the 5 things compulsory.
not like that. He said these 5 things are the pillars. I'm misquoting the hadith. I'm quoting, it is mentioned, these are the pillars of Islam. It's not 5 compulsory things. These are compulsory, but these are pillars. These are not the only 5 things. There are other things. There are many other things with the compulsory brothers. If you quote half the hadith, that's the problem we have. He said these are the pillars. And remember, brother, pillar is not the complete building. You can ask any engineer out here.
Yes.
Pillar is not the building. Pillar is the base. It's the foundation. The structure is different. The walls are there. But if the pillars are strong, inshallah the building will be strong. So if you're Tawheed, if you're Salah, if you're Zakah, if you're Sawm, if you're Hajj, if you do all these 5 things correctly, inshallah you'll be a good Muslim. Only these 5 things that are not considered Islam. Then what was the need of the Quran? What was the need of the Quran? We have to follow the Quran as a whole.
I don't remember all the reasoning, what the question
So if you don't remember, brother,
but there are several...
brother, if you don't know the reasoning, Quran says, Qul hatu Quranikum, produce your proof. In kuntum sadiqin, but it's truthful. And remember, brother, just don't say just because a particular mufti says you follow blindly. More muftis have said it's compulsory, even if you agree with that. Even if I agree with you that 3-4 muftis says it's not compulsory, there are multiple times more muftis who say it's compulsory. But we don't have to go, we have to read the Quran if you understand plainly. We see, there are some verses, brother, according to Surah Imran, chapter number 3, verse number 7. Some verses are muhkimah. I established some mutashabiyah. They are doubtful. If it's a muhkimah ayat that it is full Allah, there's one God. You have to go to any mufti or report to any hadith. It's clear cut. About talaq, it is clear cut in the Quran. You have to go to any hadith. It's 100% clear cut. Why have to go? If there is a doubt, and remember, whichever verses of the Quran which are not well established, they are based on the other established verses of the Quran. Alhamdulillah. And Surah Al-Asr is an established surah of the Holy Quran. There is no doubt about it. So in the difference of opinion, there should not be any. It's compulsory. It's a fard. Several verses, not one verse, several verses of the Quran. And when Quran says that it is fard, no other hadith, no such hadith to contradict the Quran. So that means I'm misquoting the hadith, according to half or different context. Hope that answers the question. Yes, brother.
Hello. Assalamu alaikum, Mr. Zakir.
Walaikum assalam.
I am asking regarding the Dawah. A person is reverting to Islam. Is it necessary to change his name, whether the Quran from the Quran or from the Prophet Muhammad Rasulullah? He showed any authenticity that he must change his name.
Because I have a question. That if a person accepts Islam, a non-Muslim, is it compulsory if there is just given the Quran or the Hadith that he should change his name? Behind the name, brother, it's not mentioned in the Quran. But one thing is very important, brother. If the name deals with any shirk, for example, if the name is Ram, is dealing with shirk, Ram Das, then it is 100% compulsory, you should change it. If it does not deal with any shirk and if it has a good meaning, then no problem keeping it. But still, it is preferable, not a fard. It's preferable. You change so that you don't deceive the people. You understand? Otherwise, if it deals with shirk, like Ram Das, Lakshman, etc., it's compulsory, you should change it. Other names, if the meaning is good, does not lead to shirk, still preferable, keep an Islamic name, so people realize you're a Muslim. If you're a Muslim, I should be proud to call myself a Muslim. Similarly, I was having an argument with a non-Muslim lady who reverted to Islam. Actually, it was just because she married a Muslim boy, so I feel she converted for name's sake. So after they married, they came to me and she asked the same question, that it is compulsory. And then I gave a full lecture, which I had given earlier in Jeddah. If the label shows your intent, wear it. That means, if you're proud to be a Muslim, then you should prove yourself. You should identify. Wear the cap. Where people recognize you're a Muslim. Both of your people recognize you're a Muslim. And I gave all the logic, but she gave me the logic saying that, see brother, I have been called by the name of Rita. I'm just saying the name. For 25 years, Rita. For 25 years I was called by the name of Rita. And now you tell me to change my name. Isn't it blind belief? Why should I change my name? I said, do you believe in Islam? She said, yes. I knew it was going to be the person who bought her, the Muslim, even he was a namesake Muslim. He himself did not know what the principles of Islam were. So I told you, yes, I agree. I said, if you agree you're a Muslim, for example, a doctor, how doctor puts a cross in India, or the other put a crescent. From Mr. he becomes a DR, doctor. Why? He's proud to be a doctor. That means a medical degree is much more superior than any other bachelor degree. Therefore he puts a doctor. He puts a cross on his scarf. To identify himself. So if you agree Islam is superior, don't you want to identify that you're a Muslim? For namesake she said, I agree Islam is superior. But what's the need? For 25 years I have been called by Rita. So I asked her, the sister, what was your full name before marriage? So she said, Rita Srivastava Panduram. I said, now what's the present name? So she's saying, Rita Riyad Sheikh. Riyad was the husband name. So I said, sister, isn't it illogical? For 25 years you were called Rita Panduram Srivastava, and now you're called Rita Riyad Sheikh. Why? Why change your name? Because previously she preferred being identified as the daughter of Panduram Srivastava. Now she prefers being identified as the wife of Riyad Sheikh. The same way, because you think this is more important, so when you can change, for 25 years you were called by the name of Rita Panduram Srivastava. So why did you change? So this is illogical. And she couldn't give me any answer. So the thing that you prefer, brother, you should make it open. But if you have any problem, brother, for example, if you're coming from an area where if people come to know that you change your name, it may be a threat to your life. In compulsion, Quran says in no less than 4 different places. In Surah Baqarah chapter number 2, verse number 173. In Surah Ma'idah chapter number 5, verse number 3. In Surah Anam chapter number 6, verse 145. And Surah Nahl chapter number 16, verse number 115. That if under compulsion, if you unwillingly disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah is Rahman and Rahim. If you're dying of hunger, hope becomes hard. So if you know if you change your name, it will be danger to your life. Even if your name is Ram, you can keep it. It will danger to your life. If it's not, then preferable, you should change it. If it's a shirk name, it's a fard, otherwise preferable. Hold on.
No, but while Prophet Muhammad and all companions are they change their name.
Yes, sir. Without that, when the Prophet got the message, and the beloved, all the companions, when they accepted Islam, did they change their name? Some companions which had a shirk in it, they did change. Very few. Which didn't have. Then Alhamdulillah, because at that time it was Arabia out there, and the name was easy, coming from the Arab origin. Now, you're getting a foreign name. If your name is Arabic, if you are a Christian Arab, and the name does not involve shirk, keep that name, Alhamdulillah. Umar. You know Umar, the name of Jews also? You know that? I have a Jewish friend whose name is Umar.
At the beginning stage when you are giving Dawah to new person, you are giving shock, you should confidence. Of course, maybe that the same is then a partner to the God name, the name you can eliminate it. But it is necessary if the name is not there.
That's what I told you, brother. It's not part at all. If it has a shirk name,
when Dawah sometimes when they insist to change his name.
Therefore, it's not part. We have to follow the Quran and the Prophet's example, not what other people say, what the Sheikhs or the Mufti say. Therefore, I said, it is preferable. Why use the word preferable? So that you don't deceive the people. I didn't say it's a fard. And Quran says in Surah Nahl chapter number 16, verse number 150, don't make haram what Allah has made halal. And don't make halal what Allah has made haram. So even with all my logic, what Allah has made halal, I can't say, see, I'm a medical doctor, it becomes haram. And I can say that, see, if you're suffering from diabetes, for you, it is preferable that you don't have sugar. I can't say haram. But Allah has not made sugar haram. How can I, as a doctor, make? I can say, you should not have it. Because it is bad for your health. You understand, no? The same way, if it involves shirk, it becomes false to change it unless there is some compulsion, if a life is in danger. Otherwise, it's preferable. But if you still want to stick to it, no one can force you to change your name, brother. Hope that's the question.
I think we are
No one can force you to change your name, brother. For the answer.
I think we are crossing the limits. There are so many written questions. I ask only one question, and I think this will be. Are there many people who want to ask questions? I think this will be the last question. How do we prove existence of Allah? There is a question. Dr. Zakir.
Question. That how do we prove the existence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? And actually that's called for a lecture. And anyway, for the full answer, brother, you can refer to my video cassette. Is the Quran God's word? Part 1 and part 2. It's approximately 4 hours. And that gives the complete answer to prove the existence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But still in a nutshell, I'll try my level best to prove the existence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Normally, and first thing, a person who does not believe in God Almighty, the first thing that I will do, brother, is congratulate him. If a person who does not believe in God Almighty, the first thing I'll do is congratulate him. You'll ask, people will be astonished. Why is Zakir congratulating an atheist? I congratulate him because he has agreed with the first part of the Shahada. La ilaha. There is no God. Now my job is to prove illallah, which I'll do inshallah. It becomes easier. If you believe in a fake God, you have to prove first that the God is fake and then prove this is the right God. He's done the job, half job is done. He has said the first part of the Shahada, La ilaha. There is no God. You now have to prove illallah, which inshallah I'll try to do. I'd like to ask you a question. Suppose there is an unidentified object which no one in the world has seen. No one ever has seen that object. If I ask the question that who will be the first person who will be able to tell the mechanism of that object? If I ask the question, some will say that the creator of that object. No one has seen that object. It's absolutely new. No one in the world has seen. If I want to know the mechanism, who will be able to tell the mechanism? Person who has created it. A person, some may say the producer, some may say the manufacturer. Whatever he says, don't grapple with the word, it will be somewhat similar. The first person who will be able to tell the mechanism will be the person who has created it, the person who manufactured it, the person who has produced it. After it, if he tells to someone else, he'll know it, or a person who does research. But the first person will be the person who is the creator. This answer is given to you by the atheist. God the atheist. He will give you this answer. Then you proceed. That how was the universe created? You ask him. He will tell you that by the Big Bang theory. But initially there was one family, nebula. And then there was secondary explosion, a Big Bang. Which gave rise to galaxies, the sun, the moon, the planet Earth. That's how the universe came into existence. You ask him, when did you learn this? He will say yesterday. And it was in 1973 that a couple of unbelieving scientists got the prize for this, for discovering the Big Bang theory. Yesterday, you tell him that see, this thing is mentioned in the Holy Quran. 14 years ago, in Surah Al-Anbiya, chapter number 21, verse number 30, which says, أَوْلَمْ يَرَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا. Do not the unbelievers see, أَنَّ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضَ كَانَ فَرَتْكَفْنَهُمَا, that the heavens and the earth were joined together and we closed them asunder. My Holy Quran speaks about your Big Bang theory which we discovered yesterday, 400 years ago. Who could have written that in the Holy Quran? You say maybe it's a fluke, maybe somebody wrote. No, not possible. See, when did you learn that the earth was spherical? He will say 200 years back or 300 years back. Actually it was in 1597 when Sir Francis Drake, when he traveled around the earth, he proved that the world was spherical. So you tell him that the Quran says in Surah Luqman chapter number 31, verse number 29, and Surah Al-Zumar chapter number 39, verse number 5, and Surah Nazir chapter number 79, verse number 30. You can prove from these three verses that the world is spherical. Who could have written that in the Holy Quran? You say maybe it's a guess. So what? Some people can guess. Don't argue with him. You ask him that the light of this moon is its own light or it is a reflected light. He will tell you it's a reflected light. You ask him when you discovered this. He will say yesterday. Yesterday in time means 50 years back, 100 years back. Previously what did they think? He will tell you the atheist that previously we thought the light of the moon was its own. But now we discovered in science it is reflected light. You tell him this is mentioned in the Holy Quran. In Surah Furqan, chapter number 25, verse number 61, that the light of the moon, of the Qamar, It is munir. It is nur. It's a reflection of light. It is borrowed light. You ask him, who could have mentioned the Quran? When he says it's approach, he will hesitate, but it's possible. 3 guesses people would have made. Not argue. Continue. Quran speaks about the rotation of the sun, which science discovered recently. In Surah Al-Anbiya, chapter number 21, verse number 33. Quran speaks about sky as a protected ceiling. In Surah Al-Anbiya, chapter number 21, verse number 31. Quran says that the sun will one day extinguish, the science has discovered recently. In Surah Yasin, verse number 38. In several places, you ask him, who could have mentioned this? Now I hesitate to say except for. Continue. Quran says, think about the water cycle. 400 years ago, which we discovered recently, 200 years back, 300 years back. Quran says that the plants have got sex with males and females 400 years ago. Who could have written that? Quran mentions the fruits have got sex with males and females in Surah Ra'd, chapter number 13, verse number 3. Quran speaks that in between the water, between two bodies of water, salt and sweet, there is a barrier. Surah Furqan, chapter number 25, verse number 53. In Surah Rahman, chapter number 55, verse number 19. Who could have mentioned this? You can keep, there are more than 1,000 verses in the Quran which speaks about science. Quran speaks about embryology, about the various embryological stages. In Surah Mu'minun, chapter number 23, verse number 12 to 14. In Surah Hajj, chapter number 22, verse number 5. Quran speaks about genetics. Quran speaks about fingerprinting method. Quran speaks about pain receptors. Every scientific sign you ask, you first ask him, who could have mentioned that 14 years back? It has to come to the original answer. It has to be the creator. It has to be the manufacturer of the universe. It has to be the producer of the universe. You tell him that this creator, this manufacturer, we call in Arabic as Allah. And then give him the definition of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from Surah Ikhlas, chapter number 112, verse number 1 to 4. To answer the question. But the complete answer, brother, you can refer to my video cassette. Is the Quran God's word? Dawah, alhamdulillah. Sorry? Next to Allah knows best. Inshallah, but local contact is Brother Muhammad Saiduddin. You can take his number down. As well as Abdul Majid. I mean, you can take the phone numbers down, and whatever information you want regarding Arab, you can have from them. They have all the information. Dawah, alhamdulillah.
Brothers, here I got so many questions. Most of the questions are answered, and the answers are available in the video cassettes which are available here for sale. So you can get the answers from the cassettes. Thank you very much.